Hi, Todd Peak Appliance here. Today we're looking at a Dacor double wall oven, and the initial complaint was noisy fan. So now this one here has a convection fan in the upper and the lower. There's also two control cooling fans in the back. Basically what that does, it circulates the air through the machine to keep the components from overheating. The upper one was creating all the noise. So what I did is I ordered the part, I ordered what I needed, and now I'm back to install the parts. But with that being said, the upper one is in bad shape, and I basically sold them two. So they're not very expensive. You could probably even find cheaper ones. This is a Dacor, Dacor part number. I don't know who it's made by, but so I just got these. I didn't have anything to reference it, to shop around for something cheaper, but I just got these. And anyway, so I sell to the customers. You do two of these since we have it apart to save them a little bit in labor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this out with a table cart here. It's a hydraulic table lift because the cooling fans are in the back of the machine. I already removed the doors. The lower door actually has a weak set of hinges, so I'm going to replace those. I don't always take the doors off, but here I had some glare with the video, so I took those off. It's either way. You don't need to. It makes it a little bit lighter. The table cart doesn't have a problem lifting that. So table cart's a little heavy. There's definitely different devices out there, but that's the one that I use. It's pretty inexpensive and it's really handy. So trying to cut down on the glare, I just can't do much with the lighting in here. So we're going to pull it out, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at it again. So, all right. So there's the cart underneath. It's adjustable, hydraulic. Word of caution: you always want to support the oven from the legs here. Even though it's a box, there's a dead space underneath for the air. If you set it on that, it'll crush that. So you don't want to do that. You want to support it from the solid points here. Previously, what I'd done is I took all the fixing screws out. Now, that pretty much goes for all ovens. A lot of times you'll see that the fixing screws aren't there. So when you put it back, it's a good idea to put those in. Because these things are heavy, and when the door is open, you have somebody lean on it, or a turkey or what have you. If it's a little off balance, if the cabinet base isn't in good shape, you can have this come out, and that wouldn't be good. So always secure your work once you put it back in, and basically this. So the table cart's on nice soft casters. They're non-marking. And I'll pivot it. The electrical connection on the back is on this side, so it's pretty tight too. So I was able to pivot it from this side, and then you can get complete access to what's behind here. So I took most of the screws out prior. Sometimes you'll see it'll be not this easy to get them out, but this one wasn't too bad. So here's the culprit, and then there's also another one in the center down here, which I'm going to unveil right now. So on Dacors, most Dacors, as far as I know, are all 5/16 screws. So there's about a dozen of them, and like I said, I took most of them out already. So of course, note the power is disconnected. You always want to find that. Find your source of power, and then here's the other one right here. It's under here. So this one's actually pretty greased up. fins, but the one up here is the one that was making all the rackets. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Change these out, put my new door springs in, and try and stay away from the glare, and then we'll check back in. All right, so the upper one here was basically 4 screws. This lower one's a little different. It's got a mounting bracket over it. So again, 5/16 all the way around. Pretty common for dacor. And then you just want to make sure your wiring's the same. This one's not labeled, but you don't know. It doesn't come with a diagram or anything. You don't want to hook them up backwards. Have L. It may not matter, but I basically retrace your steps. Because if you hook it up backwards, you could blow something up. Some of these other fans have 2 speeds on them. They're only designed to run one way. So here, I just matched it up and wired it the same way that the other one was. So you take this out, and you don't need to cut all this stuff. You want to try and keep it tidy, and then put it back together. And that's pretty much it there. Of course, again, kill the power. This particular house, it said range, which is pretty common in our area. Most electricians label them range for whatever reason. So if you're looking around, you don't know your power source, maybe try the range. It should be a double pole, 50 amp, maybe 40 amp. Some of them are wired, but it's a big breaker out in the panel, and you can't do it without killing the breaker. So you don't want to work on this live like that. It wouldn't be good. So go ahead and we'll button this back up, and we'll get it back in the wall.